Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we're going to talk about another Marvo keyboard. Basically, last time we talked about TKL version, and today we have the Marvo BigBang P1 keyboard, which code name is basically KG965G. As you can see, it's a full-size keyboard, and even more than that because you have additional multimedia buttons, scroll wheel, G buttons, and all other cool stuff on it. So let's unbox it and let's check out what we got inside. So when we're talking about the box content, you get some sort of a paper which says born for gaming. You get this is a palm rester, I presume. Well, there's nothing else to be here. So yeah, it's a palm rester which actually looks really nice. It's full plastic, it's not memory foam, you don't have any leatherette or anything similar to that, but it has a nice logo here. Well, basically the name KG965G, born for gaming. At the bottom you have let's see, 4 rubber mats so it doesn't move on the table. And let's check out the keyboard. Of course, some foam to protect the keyboard, and let's see here what we got. Okay, so you get a keycap remover, you get KG965G mechanical gaming keyboard. This is some sort of an instruction manual and how to install and set up the application. And here we have the keyboard in all its glory. So check it out. This is really interesting because first of all you have one USB connectivity, and at the back of the keyboard, let me just twist this around. And at the back of the keyboard you have 2 USB ports, which is quite interesting because they have only one. Usually manufacturers, when they add a USB port to your keyboard, just to avoid any interference with the USB ports on the keyboard, they actually make 2 USB ports. So that's something different, and basically I would say a precaution just so you don't have any lag on while typing or gaming or anything similar to that. Now, as I stated at the beginning of the video, you have from G1 to G6 buttons, but G1 is a bit separated from the G2 to G6. Nevertheless, it's in silver color, and the keycaps, the part where you actually have the lettering, is see-through, so most likely RGB. At the top of the keyboard you have the M1, M2, M3, M4 and M5. These are all memories that you can store your most likely the macro buttons, which is really cool. So you can have 5 memory profiles and store them here, and basically have everything individually set for each profile. On the far right side you have multimedia buttons, which are stop, fast backward, fast forward, play and pause, and you have a scroll, well, it's not a scroll wheel, you have a wheel that you can adjust your volume, which is really nice. And now, taking into consideration that we have here an FN button, of course we have separated buttons which can be used for additional functions. So on F1 to F4 you have standard like additional screen, internet browser, email, calculator. Then we have from F5 another multimedia key section, and basically from F9 to F12 you have the multimedia part for adjusting the volume. Honestly, you don't need those since you have all the separated and additional multimedia keys on the far right side, which is really cool because you don't have to, use the FN plus some of the buttons. So yeah, okay. Now you also have the possibility to engage game mode with the FN and Windows. So you lock your Windows key and other keys that might kick you out of the game, which is really good because then you can focus on the game. All the buttons, including the FN with the arrow keys and insert, home, page up, page down, delete, and are for the RGB madness. So you can adjust your lights of the keyboard through those buttons and adjust the brightness, adjust the speed, adjust the modes and everything. But you also have their applications, so this is really cool because it gives you two way of adjusting the brightness, adjusting the lights and adjusting the speed if you go, for instance, spectrum wave or something like that. Now let's check out. If you place the palm rest right here at the bottom, this is how it goes. Just a second. You do need to push two parts inside, so you have two legs that hold on each side. They hold the wrist rest on your keyboard. And basically at the back you have two additional legs, which when you take them out, it kind of gives you a more natural angle of the keyboard, giving you some sort of a nice way of typing, and I would say it really is. Now the keycaps are really cool, and they don't look like they would stain after a while using it. They're not glossy, they're some sort of a matte black, and they're definitely not PBT double shot, but they're still quite sturdy and durable, I would say, just because of the looks and everything. Now when we're talking about the switches, we have Outemo blue switches. You also have full anti-ghosting with N-key rollover support, RGB backlight with individual LED for each key, which can be set through their application, 10 plus, so even more selectable lighting schemes, 6 macro G keys which are programmable, 5 backlight mode M keys which are programmable, those are on top, dedicated multimedia controls including volume roller, they call it roller, I call it wheel, heavy duty design, metal made from plate and high quality ABS. This is what I was talking about, the keycaps. They aren't PBT double shot, but they're definitely more quality than those glossy ones which will stain after using them for a while. Slim frame, I have to admit it is a slim frame, but the keycaps, since they're standard size, they kind of raise up the keyboard and everything, but still quite cool. And advanced customization software with key illumination, macros, rebind keys and more. Now since we already tested the Outemo blue switches, I'm just going to go quickly through those and typing with them, and just to see is there anything different, do they make any echoes on this keyboard, because each keyboard has a different chassis, different body, and if you use the same switches, for instance, on two different keyboards, you might hear some echoing from the base plate of the keyboard. So let's check it out. Okay, so the keys don't have echo while typing on all other keys except for space. Space has a slight echoing, and when you type it won't be that irritating. Actually, it won't be irritating at all because you won't hear it, since the sound of other switches will definitely cover it up. The space only makes a bit of an echoing, and it has stabilizers on both sides, so it won't be any wobbly. The rest of the keys are also pretty fixed, so you won't have to worry about anything concerning the wobbliness or anything similar to that. Even the shifts, caps lock, enter is a bit wobbly, but I wouldn't take that too much serious. Now the whole keyboard lights up. You even have an RGB light at top, but the one thing that shines differently are the buttons from M1 to M5, G1 to G6, multimedia buttons, and you have 3 indication lights from num lock, screw lock and caps lock, and the Marvel logo shine red. Everything else is basically how you manage it, so you can go with fixed colors, you can go with RGB spectrum and everything else. I would say that if you're looking for let's say a keyboard on the budget, if you're tight on the budget and you want to have full-size keyboard with multimedia keys, with macro keys, with 5 memory programmable buttons that you actually can manage the RGB lights every time differently, this is quite a right keyboard, and it doesn't feel like it's full of plastic, even though it doesn't have a metal part. The top chassis actually is metal, but the bottom and the middle one isn't, so it's plastic. But I wouldn't take it that into a negative at all. The keyboard looks quite alright. I love the functions and the separated multimedia keys, which is quite alright. And I would say for a big size keyboard, for full size keyboard basically, that multimedia keys are a must. So guys, check the links below for Black Friday deals. So yeah, they have some special discounts for you guys, so check the link in the description. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe for future content, and comment your thoughts below on the keyboard. I would say it's a really neat keyboard for the price you're going to pay. So check it out, check the links below, and I'll see you in another one. Bye bye.